Node-RED is described as flow-based programming for the Internet of Things. If you like the visual programming model of Scratch, you're going to love Node-RED. You're also going to find it installed by default on your Raspberry Pi. Hi, I'm Mark Niemann Ross, and welcome to this week's edition of Raspberry Pi Weekly. Every week, we explore the Raspberry Pi and share useful tips. Node-RED is a programming language designed to make it easy to connect to the Internet of Things. As an example, let's repeat the setup from the project where we connect the infrared rangefinder to the LEDs. Once you've rebuilt that circuit, you're ready to experiment with Node-RED. The Raspberry Pi comes with Node-RED already installed, but you'll be happier if you update the installation. In order to update your copy of Node-RED, you'll need to open up a terminal window and then use a command that I've included in the exercise files. This update process can sometimes take a considerable amount of time, but be patient. When the update is complete, start Node-RED from Main, Programming, Node-RED. The Node-RED server will start and tell you the URL to access it. In my case, the editor is located at http://10.35.3.111:1880. Your numbers may be different. Open that URL with a browser. It doesn't have to be on the Raspberry Pi. Anywhere on the local network is fine. This opens up the Node-RED Integrated Development Editor. Nodes are on the left panel. Programming is done by dragging nodes into the workspace, then connecting them with wires. The first flow is a test of the LEDs in the project. Use the Import Clipboard command to import the LED program from the exercise files into Node-RED. Be sure to click on New Flow when you import this program. I can delete the previous program by double-clicking on it and selecting Delete. Click on Deploy to start the program running on the Raspberry Pi. If everything was connected properly, the solid LED will change brightness and the RGB LED will change color. As an experiment, add more random nodes to generate different colors with the RGB LED. I've provided an exercise file as an example. It's titled Multiple Random Color LED. On the right side, the debug node displays the random numbers being fed to the LEDs. Next, let's do the same thing, but with a program to test the rangefinder. Open up Check Rangefinder, select New Flow, import the program, remove the Multiple Random Color LED program, and then deploy. When you deploy that program, you'll see the rangefinder changing numbers based on the distance to an object. If the data from the previous flow is confusing, you can shut off the debug node by clicking on the checkbox to the right of the node. Finally, import the entire LED and rangefinder project. Use Complete IR to LED, select a new flow, and then import. Remove the CheckFinder program, and then deploy. When it's deployed, you'll see the solid LED glow brighter as you move closer. The RGB LED will change from green to red as you move closer. With Node-RED, you can access the Raspberry Pi GPIO and combine it with data from the real world. As you work with Node-RED, you'll see Internet of Things tools such as MQTT, WebSocket, and Watson IoT. There are healthy communities supporting Node-RED, and new nodes are added all the time. Plus, if you know JavaScript, you can easily write your own node. Node-RED is a useful programming language to tie your Raspberry Pi into the Internet of Things. And because it's a visual programming language, it's fairly easy to learn. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Raspberry Pi Weekly. Be sure to join the LinkedIn group and check out previous episodes on LinkedIn Learning. I'll see you next week with more Raspberry Pi adventures.